The next flower we're going to make is this closed rose. As I've called it, it features a closed flower which has more petals than all our previous roses that we've made. So this is the penultimate size. We'll have another size to make, which is going to be a fully open rose. So this one is closed but has more petals, and you can add more still if you want. So to make this one, we'll have to create three types or three groups of petals in order to have this shape. You will obviously also need a calyx, finish the stem, as we already know how leaves are coming later. So we have two sizes of templates for this course, and so we will need 9 of small ones, just as we've done for the previous type of flower, plus 3 more of the small ones for this one, and also 4 to 6 petals of a bigger size for this flower. So it's quite a lot more petals. Let's try and trace them out and see how we get on. So what we're going to be doing with these petals is quite different from what we've done before, so make sure you watch carefully. Right, this is not as dark. I can use just a pen here. So as I said, 9 plus 3, so altogether 12 petals of this size, although they're not all going to be shaped in the same way. Keep that in mind. As you can see, I'm placing my templates on the diagonal as before. So I've traced my 12 smaller petals here, and also 5 larger petals that I'm doing for this flower. You can make between 4 and 6, or maybe more if you want to make it even larger. So now we need to cut these petals out of our larger piece of denim. Don't cut them all out just yet, because we will be doing it differently. So for the first group of petals, we will need 9, just as we did for the open bud flower. So these 9 I can cut out as I did before. The other 3 and 5 of the larger size I'm not going to cut out. I'm not going to cut out yet, because I'm going to be backing them with backing fabric like we did calyx. Now we're going to be doing it to the petals too. So leave them aside. You can keep them grouped into 2 or 3 maybe, because this kind of can be easier to back. Perhaps a rows of 3 can be a little bit too big, too much to do, but definitely keeping them in couples will help speed up the process, especially if you have lots to do. We don't have lots for one flower, but if you're doing several flowers, it will be many more petals. So these 9 I will need to cut out within the pen lines, just like we did in the previous episode where we were preparing these petals for making the open rose bud, and they will also be shaped in the same way as for that type of rose. So I will need to leave 1 petal aside, and then the rest of petals, the 8 petals, I'm going to be shaping with tweezers. exactly like I've shown before. So this is the first group of petals. Our first group of petals, as you can see, I've already shaped them. It's exactly the same process as we have done before. If you haven't seen this lesson or you don't remember how to do it, please rewatch it. You'll find all the links below the video. So these 8 petals, shaped 8 petals, and one unshapen petal belong to one first group of petals. The next group, second group, as well as the third group of petals, will be backed with a layer of fabric. I'm using this quite lightweight fabric. You can use your cotton voile or whatever other fabric you have prepared for these jobs. So both groups of petals are going to be backed, which means glued onto this additional fabric, but shaped differently after that. So we can go ahead with the second group, which only has 3 petals like this, still small size, and we'll see how we can shape them for this rose. So to back your petals, you'll need some PVA glue. You can just apply it carefully at the back of your petals. I'm going to keep them like this in a group of 3. Just apply the glue quickly here. Keep the glue in a thin layer so that you don't have too much of it. You can spread it with your finger further. And then place these petals onto your fabric, making sure that the petals are positioned on the diagonal, on the bias of this fabric as well. Press well. We can cut this off. The petals from the third group are going to be backed in the very same way as well. I'm going to use some dry cloth to press the 2 fabrics together. It can be a little bit sticky at first, but then the glue is going to set and it will stop being sticky. So now is the time to cut out these petals within the lines. So this way you are saving your time cutting once, and also saving the petal size, because if you cut out 2 times, your petal will be smaller each time you're cutting. If you are doing making several flowers together, doing a lot of petals, I would recommend keeping the backed petals in a little plastic bag. This will help help them stay moist, prevent drying out, because if they dry out, they're going to be quite hard and you won't be able to do much shaping with them. So we want them to be still flexible when we're doing shaping. If you don't put them in the bag, they will dry out pretty quickly. So once you have prepared your petals, it's time to shape them, and the shaping on these petals is going to be very similar to the shaping we've done on these petals, but you'll see they will look slightly different because these petals are backed, they're harder, and they will perhaps you'll find them that they are shaped easier, maybe not, but it's going to be a slight difference in the final shaping. Now let's shape these 3 petals that we have backed. So you'll see they're more dense. You can stretch them a little bit to give them a slight concave shape. And then with hot tweezers, we're going to shape in a very similar way as we've done before, just to curl out the very top of the petal and make sure it's nice and smooth. Once these petals are completely dry, they will be much denser, harder than the soft ones that we haven't backed. So in this way, just gently, might need to practice a bit more. Hold the petal a little bit to let it start setting and then move to the next one. We only have 3 of these for this particular rose flower, so it's not too many to shape. Just the top part, as you can see. Right, so these are the 3 petals of the second group, and we can move on to the third group. The third group is 5 larger petals that have been backed, as you can see. And so they're going to be shaped slightly differently. Again, we're going to be shaping the top of the petal here from side to side, but in these petals we can shape them with a bit more broken line, separate curls. I'm going to show in a minute how. So the line doesn't have to be smooth. We're going to be creating separate curls. You have a little kink in the middle to go around, so you can see it's creating a kind of more frilly petal compared to the previous options. I can also pull it aside a little bit to create a slightly more concave shape, and you can see that it's a different look. So I'm going to show a couple more for this design. Again, stretch them a bit because we don't have any other tools but our fingers and tweezers. So here I'm going in small steps and curling up the fabric. Like this. One more from this group to show you, and the others are going to be done in the same way. And try to stretch. These petals will also harden up once the glue has dried. Try to create differently shaped petals, not all the same curls in the same places if you can. Do slightly different shapes. So continue in the same way until you've shaped all the petals from this third group. We have prepared all the petals for this type of rose. So we have 9 petals shaped as we've done previously for the open bud. Then we have 3 small backed petals and 5 backed large petals. All of these are going to make us one of these roses that we are going to be assembling in the next step.